Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we take a look at the tram progress as they start on the new section over towards Digbeth. We also take a look at the extensive amounts of false work going up throughout the site, which they have to do before they can place any more U-beams. But we can see it is going up at pace, and I'll try and explain some things from a couple of comments I've had. We also have a look over at Curzon St Viaduct and the nose and the various cranes over there. And we just do a general site overview as we always do, but lots and lots of progress, and let's get into it. As always, please do join the Discord. There's a link in the description below. It's a great way to chat to me or just to join the community and engage in the discussion going on. So please feel free to join that. Again, a link is in the description. As always, thank you so much to my members. Thank you, Martin, for joining since yesterday. There is a number of you now, and it really does help with things like train tickets. And there's a lot of costs and time that people might not realise goes into these videos. This isn't my day job, but this really does help at least keep me motivated to do these videos. So thank you very much. And if you can't become a member, that's absolutely perfect, but please do hit that subscribe button. It means more than you think. And yeah, let's get into the video. Right now, as we get in towards today's video, the first thing I wanted to draw some attention to is these two concrete boxes that look like they can be lifted up by cranes. They look sort of like some structures we've seen going around the site, but I am not sure what they are. So if somebody in the comments does know, please do inform me of that, if you know where they might go on the site as well. But we can see that's where the concrete pours were happening today. We can also see one of the concrete hoppers, the thing that's being lifted by the tower crane here, actually sort of left in one of these structures on the other side. This might be completely wrong. Is this a larger structure that this hopper is going to be a part of that they can carry around? I'm not sure why they would do that, but again, if anybody knows what they are, that would be great. This is a look over the main piece of false work that I believe we have to concentrate on for a while because of its position. I did also focus on the top here. There's some markings on the ground where this mini excavator is, and the reason I focused on this today is because I believe this is actually in preparation for the tram track. Now I know it's still about 2 or maybe 3 months away from work actually starting on the Curzon Street site for the trams, but this is in the direct tram track that will go under the U-beams and through that railway arch that we've seen. I will come back to that false work section just below where the drone is now, but I think that's really important as basically the way they're going to be, the way the U-beams have to work is that's like a middle point for a lot of the U-beams, as obviously that diagonal one gets further away from the ones that are in a row. So before any more can be put down, we have to make a lot of progress with that formwork and false work basically in the middle. I did also briefly point over onto the left hand side there. We've had a delivery of stairs and things like that, but I will get a better shot of that in a moment. Apologies. You can see the rebar around that blinding layer, where that's them thinner columns are on the right hand side. They haven't poured that yet. I guess they're waiting to make a bit more progress on that decking section behind it just yet, but that is going up very quickly as well. Looking down over this decking section, there's no real need to make that much progress down here at the moment, as the U-beams are a while away. They'll have to do the middle section all the way down here before this can be utilised. Look over the water attenuation box. They are still spreading out this white sheet. And we can see that the concrete stairs thing that they had yesterday, they've now covered it up with that white sheet. So we'll see what happens to this. My initial thoughts is that they're covering it all up, and these will be the little stumps, the bases of some columns that we see all over the site. We can see them actually to the right, just above the water attenuation box. Those columns, they stick out slightly, and then rebar will be built on top of them. That is potentially what's going to happen there as well. I guess we will just have to see. As we fly over here towards the formwork storage area, we can see a lot of progress actually being made on those longer sections there. I did decide to fly back over here for some reason, but obviously we will go back over there in a moment. Looking over at the SPMT, the self-propelled modular transporter, that's the thing with the red beams on the top. That is what moves the U-beams. That basically they weigh between 5 and 58 tons, and there'll be over 500 of them on the site. We can see where they've been placed just towards the top left of the screen there. The ones nearest the railway track cannot be moved by crane for two reasons actually. One is because the space is minimal for the crane to get in there, and the second is that they don't want basically 58-ton concrete beams swinging near a railway area. So yeah, that is near a live railway. We can see a lot of aggregate has been delivered. I called it sediment yesterday, which someone found funny in the comments. That's aggregate, and we can see them spreading it around various areas of the site. We can see this is the delivery of stairs that I mentioned in the video. So interesting to see where these will be placed eventually. However, yeah, been a large delivery of blue bits of apparatus, and we can see the workers' walkway. Never really got a good view of it before. Them all coming back after lunch. A lot of this video was filmed during lunch, so sort of I'm going to say around 2 p.m. I don't exactly have the figures, and the filming took place over about 90 minutes. This is actually towards the end of the video in terms of the actual time it was filmed. But it just makes sense to put it here, and then the other bits that I filmed earlier on a bit later. I will go up the site in a minute and talk about all the piles and the rebar that's been done. Just give me a moment to do that. I also wanted to get another look at this concrete pour happening over here. Again, if anybody knows what it's being poured into, that would be very useful. We can see the one on the right has been poured as the concrete goes all around the bottom of it. This one, there's still like a red little bit in it. I guess that's like a mould. But we shall see. Interesting that the other hopper has been left in it though, on the other side. I've cut over here to have a look at the tram track. Today's video is a little bit interesting, a little bit more interesting than usual, I should say. Every day is interesting. But we can see that as we move down here, this is the entrance and the route that will enter into Curzon Street. This will be the next stretch of road they work on. You can see them doing the pre-work on the mains lines that take a while, but they haven't really started up here just yet. This will be the section after the one they're currently working on. But as I mentioned, there are a few workers up here working on the time-consuming bits. We can see down here there is a lot of cables going underneath that road that they're going to have to deal with. But we can see it's now totally cut off. They've got all the fences they need in place. And we can see here that proper work has started with an excavator on this part of the road. This is towards the bottom. But down to where that road was closed that we just saw there, that's obviously the next stint that they are planning to do within this bit of tram work, a bit like we saw on the bit that's just reopened above. This is the next stint, and I would estimate, given what happened before, it's probably going to be the second week of August is when this will all look like it does above, with the nice new tarmac road and all the tram tracks in. I reckon if they could do it by the second week of August, that would be pretty good, as then they'd be, 2 weeks into the next section by the time September rolls about, and that's when access to Curzon Street is meant to happen for the trams. Again, a lot of work has got to happen on Curzon Street yet before the trams can go through there, so that has to marry up. But I'm sure Curzon Street will look very different in 2.5 months' time, or something like that. This is the area that was done. I just wanted to fly over Norton's, and down here, some very good pubs down here if you're ever looking for somewhere to go in Birmingham. I actually originally, I don't know why, I thought that this red area was like temporary, but it is actually just a walkway. I guess they've made it more visible. And to let people know that that's where they're going to cross. Even though I think even if that wasn't there, it's pretty self-explanatory. We can also see the track looks slightly different as it goes over that red bit. I'm sure some people know. Some people said they were also testing trams down here yesterday. I had a look through the video yesterday. I couldn't tell where that was. I did only skim through it. But that's great to see if they were actually doing that. We could see the work really starting to kick off on this next section now, which is good. I was hoping it would start before July, and this is obviously the 30th of June. July starts tomorrow. So just about. But we'll see how much of this they can get done in July. I'm hoping by the end of July they've at least got the track sort of laid down and starting to re-tarmac the road and things like that. A lot of the paths are done with that nice patio looking different shades of stone that we can see. I wonder if they'll keep that walkway sort of path in, or if they'll replace that with them different coloured stones, that different stone pattern thing they use that looks quite nice. But as I mentioned, where this road is closed here, that is where the next stint of work will go, up to these wires. Or actually no, it would make sense that they reopen the road. They've closed the road obviously for a reason. So it will go actually to just the other side of this road, so they'll reopen that. So yeah, I would estimate the second week of August. Again, that may be off by a couple of weeks, but that's just a rough guide. And then when that's done, we'll be looking across here, and they'll have to do one final big stint, but with no real roads, crossroads left to close. You can see them working on some big cables down there. But when I take a pan out in a moment, we should realise that there won't actually be that much left in their way until they get into Curzon Street. Now this will be a long stint, obviously. This is quite a lot of ground to cover. But if they can get into this sort of back end of August, what would you say, 2 months? Especially as they're working on it already. That takes us into sort of early October. And then they'll be fully re-tarmacked roads all the way up into Curzon Street from Digbeth. And then obviously the work can start to join up with the tram tracks on this side. Flying over here, We can see the tower crane base that is being delivered this weekend. I'll try and get a video of that. I am going to Silverstone for the qualifying. Very, very lucky that that was a present that someone got me. So, yeah, I will be in Birmingham on my way down to there. I'm actually getting the coach from Digbeth that morning. But yeah, this is the main bit that I think we have to focus on for just a while. And we can see how it's going to bend to the left across those lozenge-shaped concrete columns. And basically it'll act as like an intermediary sort of area between this decking section at the bottom of the screen going straight and the diagonal one we can see in the distance. Obviously that would have to be a mega U-beam, far too long individually to span across all that area, so that's why they've got to break it up. But not a lot can happen until that is broken up. We can see a lot of workers are out on the viewing area at the top today. I did also have a great interaction. I do have a lot of interactions with the workers. A lot of them say they actually enjoy my content and watch it regularly. I don't know what they were filming up here today, but there's certainly a lot of cameras on that guy. Looking over at the area outside, we can see a lot of concrete pours. That formwork is still up around it. They haven't really started on the next section yet. It looks like there's going to be one, maybe two more of those big concrete slabs poured outside. And then that'll be done and ready to open. So this is the new office block. I spoke to one of the cleaners today. I believe his name was Andrew, or definitely began with an A. Or was it Jonathan? Oh, sorry, I got no idea. I will try and meet him again because he was lovely. But he mentioned that there's a canteen at the bottom. They're very nice inside, and this will house a lot of the new workers, in addition to the offices down by the formwork storage area. Again, we can see they haven't removed the concrete formwork that's been there for weeks now on that top bit of the diagonal. We can see them starting to tinker. There's two workers down there starting to move around with the rebar that's going to form the base of where that next concrete pour will be. So hopefully as they start building those and need the formwork for that, they'll move on down that diagonal area. Again, we can see they've put the sort of yellow sort of plaster down across the top of that ladder area that they had yesterday that allows them to go down to the road below. And we can see on the right hand side how they have put a lot of this aggregate down. So yeah, and we can also see a lot of those concrete blocks around the bottom of that big hole in the water attenuation tank, so we'll keep an eye on that going forward. We can see that blue crane's getting ready to pick up one of those concrete columns. And also over towards the left hand side, we can see them making a lot of progress on those quite long parts of formwork. This actually, to me, I mentioned it yesterday, looks like it will be for one of those decking sections. It's too long to be a pile cap, in my opinion, and too shallow. It looks like just one of those concrete pours along the top of the viaducts. Looking across here, we can see there's obviously been another delivery of something on the back of that lorry. and we can see the viaducts on the right hand side has now got all of its 3 arms. Don't worry, when I spin around we'll take a better look at that from the other angle, as always. We can see there's been a delivery right in the middle of the screen here, sort of scaffolding right towards the bottom of the screen. Just flew over it then. I'll get a better picture again when I come back. I just like to do both sweeps to get both perspectives, but the better view is when I come back on myself. They're yet to put this launching decking girder up. As mentioned, that's probably going to be a while away. They'll have to connect Lawley Middleway up to Curzon No. 2 Viaduct, and that is yet to happen. They'll also have to get rid of all the white sheets across Lawley Middleway that is for welding sections, but that's obviously yet to be seen. I always take a look at this, these red blocks, or this red scaffolding. People have told me what they are. My biggest apologies that I can't remember at this point what they are. Looking over Lawley Middleway. Again, that's what that white section at the bottom there that I said they're going to have to remove. But my thoughts is that decking girder thing is going to basically sit either side. It's going to go across here, and it's going to basically fill all these holes in that we can see, and we can see there's holes for a tube to go through it. There, it's through it most of the way, but it hasn't actually reached the whole way through. I can't actually see anyone. I know it's lunchtime again, like I said, and there's been some deliveries of some weathering steel coloured poles down the bottom there. I can't actually see, there's a worker on the left hand side there along the top, but not many, and the crane isn't operating at the moment. I know it's just lunchtime, but we saw them doing some welding yesterday. I thought they might have taken a bit more off. Lots and lots of seagulls about. And as we turn back round, I believe that section on the right, there's 2 of those things. I'm not sure if I've got this wrong, but they look to be the same shape as the holes in either Curzon No. 2 Viaduct or Lawley Middleway, so that might be used. And again, that's that scaffolding in the middle at the bottom there. So that's obviously going to go somewhere. A better look over at the canal side viaducts. We can see the decking section on the right, and they have now also finished the 3 prongs, the 3 arms of the one on the left hand side. They're yet to obviously have the top bit put on them, but that will come along with the decking. And we can see that big delivery by that big crane there. Flying back over the site here now, we can see some blue tubes are being delivered by that big extension arm. They were just dropped down. I'm sure whatever it is they can't break then. Not sure if I should have captured that, but that is what happened on the day. And we can see them spreading out that aggregate along the top of the site. Once again, I want to say thank you all so much for the support. You know, watching my subscribers go up, my views go up, people watching every day. It really does mean a lot. I am going to try my best to grow this channel and to provide the best quality content I possibly can. We can see that blinding layer hasn't been poured yet, and they've just started this this new false work section just on the bottom left of the screen. We can't really see it anymore, but that'll be another key piece as that progresses down there. This again is a bit later, so the workers are back after lunch. That's why there's more of them here. Quite a lot in this area of false work, as you would expect. As I mentioned earlier, it's a pretty key component of the future U-beams going in. Looking on the right here of the screen, we can see on either side of that false work there's a section that looks pretty ready to go in and to go up along the side of it to make the next section. So hopefully they go up sooner than later and we can get the decking section done. I'd imagine that they would go up relatively soon as they look to be complete. Those sort of screwdriver looking things are basically adjustable, so they can adjust for the differences in the level of the ground and make it basically a flat height across the whole formwork span, so that is good. We can see here more work's going on with this big pile cap. They've also pulled the one above it. So I'm basically guessing that I think they'll put the formwork up, the concrete formwork, basically the mould, ready to be poured in that we can see above it, possibly by the end of the week. If not, they'll do that one on the top right. And we can also see here that is the tower crane base that will be delivered on Saturday and Sunday. That's ready to go. We can see this area is getting ready for a concrete pour. It's got the formwork around it, so that'll be another big one done. All these will eventually turn into columns, so still a lot going on under the ground. We can see some new piles over on the right hand side that are done, and another one in the middle ready to be poured. We see a lot of work done over here this in the last sort of 7 days. That rebar has taken shape on that right hand side pile cap anyway. But this is what I'm excited for. Over the next sort of while, we can see obviously a lot of that work that happens under the ground, that rebar tying, that pile cap, just turns into one of these columns. So over the next sort of 6 months to a year, all the more of the work's going to be above ground. Hopefully it'll get people excited about the project. We can see this is where the third tower crane base is going to be. This will be delivered at the end of July. You can see they've now tied that rebar, and yeah, hopefully they pour the concrete on that one soon. I need to find the exact date of when that will be delivered. I know the other one is the 4th and 5th of July, but we will see when the one after that is delivered. Looking over here, they've got a big concrete pump waiting for another concrete mixer to arrive. We can see them doing various concrete pours over here. You can see back there on the right, they've made a blinding layer before they've even cut those piles. They're getting ready to cut those. You can see lots and lots of rebar at the top here. They'll have to go in across this new concrete blinding layer. We can see towards the left there where there's not that thick rebar yet. Lots and lots to go in there. That's actually one of the most time-consuming areas of the site, putting all that rebar in up there. But we'll see what that turns into over the next coming months. By the end of the year, I think a lot of our questions will be answered. Obviously, it won't look like a station just yet, but it will be coming out of the ground. And a lot more of those columns we can see at the top of the site when I spin around. We'll have decking sections on top of them. This again is the two white pile caps with stuff inside them like the generators that are connected to the main electricity grid. So that's how the station will have power on the west side at least. And that's what I was talking about. These columns we can see in this top section here, a lot of these will have decking on by the end of the year, if not all of them. I would say all the ones we could see will have decking across them and formwork put up, especially when we've got the other tower cranes that we'll have at the end of next month. I predict that a lot of decking will go up very fast. And yeah, it should be exciting to watch, with obviously 3 times the progress in a day, because that's how many cranes we'll have on site, and also those new offices open for new workers. We can see a lot of, this, what could be a concrete kind of machine going down. Again, not too sure what that is being lowered down next to that next tower crane base. These columns on the right hand side have red around the bottom of them. I guess that's to tell the workers they are for a specific thing. But work going on all over the site, and it's great to see it. So thank you all very much for watching, and I'll be back again tomorrow. So please do tune in. Okay, thanks.